What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. My name is Jason.
And I'm Ant.
How are you doing this weekend?
All good, sir. You?
Yes, I am not too bad, not too bad. I'm surprisingly awake today.
Yes, me too.
I have drunk quite a lot of energy drink today, so that might be what I might crash about halfway through recording this, to be fair.
Please don't.
So that'd be interesting. It'd be new, I guess.
No, don't, because I can't run this on my own.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Why not? You're an experienced podcaster.
I am, but it's like this you're the boss. Come on.
The final boss, yeah?
About I might maybe say it for the show. Yeah.
No, I'm happy with my kingmaker. Right, I'm not the boss. I'm the kingmaker.
The kingmaker.
That's what I am. I'm the kingmaker.
I'll take it then.
But I think we were trying to come up with a new nickname for you the other day, weren't we?
But didn't you put me down as legendary gamer or something?
Yeah,
I have it in writing that you called me that once. Unfortunately, we don't have it here to prove it. But
Yeah. I can't remember why I said it.
I don't know why you said it. No,
we were having a conversation about something.
I think you were trying to woo me into a games night.
I might have been, to be fair.
Ant-Man might bring his stuff. I was like, oh, I'm gonna come now, haven't I? So
There's a way. There's always a way.
yeah, legendary's definitely not me, sir.
Put the games
But
down.
I appreciate the sentiment of the comment. Thank you.
Put the games down and Ant will come.
This is it. I will go.
But how's things been recently? All good? Work
Busy,
treating you all right?
Work's been a bit. It's the part of the month where I've got to work weekdays instead of weekends.
Ugh.
So not so much recording wise, but I'm here. We got an episode in, so looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Yeah.
How about yourself, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Again, working lots and lots and lots.
Yep.
Gaming's been a bit slow for me the past couple of weeks,
Okay.
which is concerning. However, the next couple of weeks are going to be the polar opposite, because this coming weekend I've got the Mid Sussex Meeples game day, which I will be going to on Sunday. The following weekend, I will be attending the Paradise Games Convention down in Worthing.
Yeah.
That's my first convention of the year, in fact. So I know at the time of recording, we've just had the Aircon event.
We did, yeah.
Which-
it was literally last weekend, wasn't
Yeah,
it? So
we didn't attend that one. I do want to attend that at some
I'd
point
like to
in
go,
the future.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, unfortunately, because it's so close to Paradise, it's very hard for me to justify juggling
One or the
having the
other.
kids and stuff. So, and you know, with Paradise being our home turf, really, and I've been
Easier,
there
isn't it?
for every year they've done it so far, and this year's the biggest and best they're doing. So,
It's 2 days this year, isn't
it's
it?
2 days this year. It's in a bigger venue, much later because they now got a gaming hall as well, which is going to be
Ooh.
fantastic.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do there. I will be doing some coverage for it as well. I
Is
have
it just
confirmed
you
that.
going? Is James going with you?
I believe James is meant to be coming with me on the Saturday. I'm meeting up with a couple of the fellas from Bored Stupid down there as well,
Nice,
so
nice.
that will be good. Meeting up with Stephen of Table Talk Games
Hey!
as well.
Hey, Steve.
So yeah, I think it's going to be a good time, good day, lots of games, and I believe there's a few up and coming games going to be there as well, publishers. So
Ooh,
looking
okay.
forward to testing them out. But yeah, speaking of games on a board game podcast, oh, the rarity. Have you been playing any games recently?
I did. I played one this week and I played one last week.
Wow, you might have actually pipped me at the post then.
Really?
Did I play anything this week?
You run a games night every Monday. Surely you must.
Yeah,
have
see,
made something.
we had the Pokemon pre-release this week, so it was like tables were a premium this week. I'm just trying to think if I played anything last week. I did play something last week, but not a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, what have you been playing, sir?
So this week I taught my friends, my guys at my podcast, Legendary Encounters: The Alien Saga.
Oh yes,
I don't even know why we even brought that to the table. I think they were just looking. We were meant to do Cthulhu Death Meadow one night, and one guy didn't show up last minute. So they were like, "Oh, what else have we got?" And they saw that, and I was like, "Oh, let's do this." I've not played that game in ages, so I was like, "Bring that to the table."
Nice.
And they had a blast of it. So we did the first movie. Hopefully, we'll come back and do the other movies as well. So
nice. You were saying recently you wanted to get that to the table
yeah,
again.
we brought it up
didn't
on
you?
a top 5
Yeah,
a few weeks ago
yeah.
or something. So it's just blind luck. I never even encouraged it. It's just like, "Oh, there's aliens." I was like, "All right, okay, it's done. It's happening." So
Yeah. How far have we played that one? I think we've done.
we only done Aliens 1 and 2. We
1
haven't
and
done
2.
3 and 4
Okay,
yet.
okay. We do need to do that.
We do.
We definitely need to
100%.
do that. Same as we need to get Marvel
Oh,
back to the table as
Any
well.
day. Any day.
Need to sort that out.
Just say
to
legendary.
get
It's like,
that.
yes, done.
Legendary. Absolutely awesome, yeah. Absolutely love it.
What
So
about you, sir?
I've played a bit more as all Jill. Talked about it enough. Not going to talk about it anymore. I've played Rumblebots again.
You did?
I
Nice,
taught
okay.
that to someone the other day. That was good fun. Again, I've talked about that in the past. So I'm not going to talk about that one again. I'll talk about it a bit more as well. Theme Park Mania, my review for that has now come out.
It has.
It's had a yeah.
Have you sold it yet?
And I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. It's still there.
You've really got to sell that to sell it.
Yes. Yeah, and that's gonna be a tough one. I think that might be a donation somewhere. But yeah, so that's come out, and I have played it since.
Maybe we should bury it like Jumanji.
And
Like some
it's
kid find it
tempting.
or something.
It is really tempting. I don't think there's a pit low enough.
Wow.
Touch wood, I have played it since, right? And it's still as garbage as it was.
You're swearing at James again, like the last video we saw of it.
There was some expletives that would have been said, yes. But yeah, there was a couple of people that had watched the video and they were just like, it really can't be that bad. I was like, well, if you really want to, I will teach you the game and we'll play it. So I did, and the outcome was, yeah, it really was that bad.
Yep.
So yeah, that is a game.
Never again now.
Never again now. No, I am done with that game. It's ready to go. So positive vibes to finish this section for me. I've been playing Pan Am.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played this in a while.
I haven't played. I think last time I played it was at Wayne's.
Yeah.
Last time I played that.
Yeah. So obviously I picked this up at
Essen.
Essen,
Yeah.
because it's out of print and stuff like that. Obviously Funko games don't exist anymore. So I really wanted to get this game before it became, really,
Obsolete.
rare and hard to find. And I think it's a really good game. It's a nice production as well.
I remember having a lot of fun with that, I'll be honest.
And it was one of those, I wanted to get it back to the table a bit sooner, if I'm honest. But yeah, I played it with some guys at my game club. They'd never played it, and they sort of really enjoyed how it worked, and they liked how the bonds change prices throughout the game, and that is the overall objective of the game, is to have shares, not bonds, shares in Pan Am. And it took them a little while to grasp the whole building the routes, that if you really want to keep them, you need to kind of keep them away from where Pan Am is, because they made a point of very early on, they were building routes right next to where Pan Am starts.
Right.
And of course, on the first turn, they immediately lost those routes, and they were absorbed by Pan Am, and they sort of really struggled to get going with regards to that. But then the cards started being a bit more favourable to them, destination cards, so they started building routes further away and on the permanent lines that were never going to be taken. And at that point, they just sort of like, right, now we've got it. Now the engine's running. And yeah, they had a really good time. I keep looking at those little plastic planes, though, and going, I could really do with painting them. And then I look at them and go,
would be cool.
No, you're an idiot. You've
done
can't
it
do
for
that.
Worms, you should do it for Pan Am.
Yeah, worms are a little bit bigger, though.
Yeah, I know, but come on, you could do it.
Can you imagine trying to get like a little...
Get a magnifying glass, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Steady hands.
This is coming from a guy who painted like Crisis on, what was it? Crisis Protocol.
Marvel Crisis Protocol, yeah, and all my Warhammer stuff throughout the years.
See, you can do it, mate.
Yeah, I might well do it at some point. Some fictional airline liveries or something. It would look quite cool. But so Pan Am, that's a game I've been playing. Really good fun. Want to get it to the table. I think we need to play it again.
Yeah,
actually.
I wouldn't mind playing that again because it's been a while. So totally.
Nice. Have you played anything else that you want to talk about?
One more thing I played last week, and I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to tell you this now.
Oh, no.
All right?
No,
I actually bought Rock Hard 1977.
Oh,
I've introduced it to Legends of Podcasting.
Nice.
I've introduced it to my guys. I have played this. I played it 3 times last week.
Wow.
I love it.
Okay.
They love it.
Okay. So it was worth the investment.
It was well worth the investment, honestly. And
you could have just asked to borrow mine.
I know I could, but at the time I was just like, it was down from £50 down to $28.99 on Zatu.
Oh, that's worth it.
So I just grabbed it while it was the last minute.
Did it arrive in one piece?
It did, because I do believe my my Twilights of the Republic was the cushion for it at the time. So
okay.
So I picked it up. They loved it. The whole thing with the candy, we were just going. Have you ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes. Yeah.
So King Candy, and he goes, "Have some candy." Every time they won, they earned a candy. That was what was said. We were all just having a laugh of it. And they again, Stuart, who's the main guy from Legends of Podcast, and he used to be in a band and stuff, so it was right up his alley and stuff like that as well. So, but the rest of the guys just absolutely enjoyed it. My guys really liked it, which is not their type of game because they're not into like the whole music thing, my guys. But no, it was just so much fun. It still is so much fun. I'm glad I picked it up. Dead cheap as well, nearly half the price, in fact. So
nice.
So yeah, I had to bite the bullet and get it in the end.
So I'm amazed it's been discounted that much already.
Honestly,
That's a really good game, and the production for that price is fantastic. So I mean, if it's still that price out there, go and buy it. It's honestly, totally worth it. Even if it is from Zatu, they throw it across the room or whatever.
Catch.
So I always slate Zatu for this, right? And I've actually bought quite a bit from them recently, and I'm gonna hold my hands up and go, every single one of my deliveries has been perfect.
So far.
I've had no damage to my boxes, nothing like that. So have they turned over a new leaf? I don't know.
Possibly.
Time will tell, but I really do hope so. But I did see that Zatu are now available through the Tesco
I was about to ask you, are you going to mention that?
I have mentioned it, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Tesco's are doing it for him.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
If you believe the Tesco website, it says it's still fulfilled by Zatu. But that's available in the UK on the Tesco website now. But I think we're going to talk about that potentially even next week on the next podcast, because that's an interesting development, I would say, about that. So yeah. Awesome. That's really good. I'm glad you've got that game to the table.
And it's been played a lot too.
Such a good game.
It is
such a good game.
Don't want to keep on about because we talk about it all the time on the show.
And we will be doing probably a video review of that at some point as well. But I guess there's not really much else for us to talk about because we're doing a top 5 today. Now, I guess before we say it's top 5, I'm going to ask you: is this actually a top 5 for you, or is it just a 5 games of this time?
5.
That's okay. So have I.
That's all right.
I have as well. That's fine. Again, top 5s are very subjective. We haven't played every game under the sun. I've actually played quite a few games that I would say fall into this genre, but obviously there are games out there that might be better than this. We just haven't played them yet.
Yeah, I mean, one of them was so close to being very high on this list. Only issue is I've only ever played it once. I remember it vividly, but I want to kind of own it as well.
Yeah.
There are obviously the retail version of this game that I wanted, but the Kickstarter version I like to have because the pieces go well with what the top 5 is all about, really.
Yeah.
So I don't own it, but I'll probably honourable mention it after we've done the top 5. But it was very, very close. So
nice. So to dive into the top 5, we're doing a top 5 on comfort games. Is what we settled on the name. So what we're talking about here is, games that provide low stress, aesthetically pleasing, quite peaceful, and very little conflict is what I've sort of looked at in my ones. What about you? Have you sort of set yourself any sort of limits and rules?
Yeah, I mean, one of them is they're all pretty much the same as what you just said, but one of them has the sort of rush factor to it, but it's not done in a hectic way.
Okay.
So it's still, I'll go into it and I'll explain it. But yeah, one of them is kind of like a rush factored game, but it's still quite comfortable and easy to play with.
Okay, nice. So I have got some honourable mentions at the end. So if you,
I have one. So
yeah, I've written down a list of 10 games.
Oh, you've done 10.
And then figured out what my top 5 would be on this one. So if you're ready,
I'm ready.
Let's crack on with the top 5s.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the countdown.
Okay, so before we kick off with our top 5s, do you want to go first or shall I go first?
I'll go first.
You're going to go first. Okay, so let's go for our number 5.
5. First, okay, so my number 5, I'm going to get the newest one out of the way,
Okay.
and I'm going to go with Critter Kitchen as number 5.
Oh, okay. Nice. You've actually played this now.
Played this a couple times
awesome.
now. I've picked this because I like the whole factor of the owning the restaurant side to this.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know what Critter Kitchen is, you spend 6 rounds. First 3 rounds, you have cards that you need to try and get food tokens to make certain dishes. And you get another 3 rounds to do the exact same thing. But on the 7th round, you have to try and get enough ingredients to make a perfect dish for a critic for your restaurant. The comfort side to it is just, I love that. I think the components are a main factor why this is a comfort game for me.
Yep.
I mean, I own the deluxe version, so I can't really go into much on the retail side of this, but the deluxe version is just so thematic for what it is, like the foods, the soups, the biscuits, the round counter is a pepper shaker, and the feel of it, the look of it, and then I love that at the end of round 3 and 6 when you don't have to do it, but when you've made the food, you feel like an actual chef, and you're like, orders up, and you get your little plates out, and you got your foods on there, and you score your points to what your ingredients are and stuff. It's just one of those nice, comfort, wintry games if you love food.
Yeah.
A couple of my games are going to be about food in this, by the way.
Fair enough.
I've only played it a couple of times, but I feel like it should have gone on here because, I mean, if you play it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I love that feel of it. It does make you feel like a chef. It does make you feel like you're owning a restaurant. And when you get to that 7th round, trying to, impress that critic, it counts. I mean, all in for what you can get, what your chefs can get ingredients wise. Brilliant. Highly recommend it if you ever get a chance.
Nice. Very, very nice. I still haven't had the chance to play this
We
game
will
yet,
do
so
it.
we
Honestly,
need to
we
get
will
that
do
to the table
We will.
sooner rather than later because
Yes,
it sounds like a
absolutely.
great time. And I love food. Yeah,
I know. I know. Back when your Essen games was all about food. Food games. So yeah.
But yeah, really good choice. Look forward to playing it. I hope I find it as enjoyably relaxing as you do.
Yeah. Well, maybe not your first game, but the second game you definitely will.
I'm sure I will. Okay, so my number 5. Now, I'm going to start this by actually saying that we had a discussion before we actually did this list, and Ant thinks that we're going to clash quite a bit on this list. And I think the polar opposite. I don't think we're going to clash at all.
Okay.
So, with that being said, my first one is Tokyo Highway.
We clash.
Really?
No.
I'm genuinely surprised. No, so
Remind me, Tokyo Highway.
So Tokyo Highway is a dexterity game where you're building out the sort of the highways, and you've got like pillars that you've got to put like what is akin to like a lollipop stick across, and then you've got to balance the cars.
A dexterity game is a comfort game.
It is, and the way you use it, I've sort of tried to. While waiting to record this evening, I've sat down and I've actually put all of my thoughts into words because I know what I'm like. I struggle to remember these things while we're talking, so I've written them all down. So for me, Tokyo Highway is a great comfort and relaxation game as it's kind of meditative in its tactical gameplay.
Right.
You know, the act of having to really carefully place the cars down and not knock everything over, sort of like a Jenga type deal.
Okay.
You know, and you have to control your breathing, which in itself helps to sort of de-stress your body. And, I just feel like it creates an almost Zen-like feel when you're playing the game. And it seems weird because, dexterity games don't really sound like they're going to be all that, relaxing.
It sounds a bit stressful sometimes.
Yeah, and there are times, to be honest, if you get really ultra competitive with this game, that it could be actually the polar opposite. It could be a stress-inducing game. But I find whenever I play this game that I am adopting those tactics of breathing, slowing my breathing, just to, because I'm quite a chubby, clumsy person by nature.
Right.
So having to put my fat fingers in amongst a tangled mess of lollipop sticks and cars and all of that, it just feels like I'm going to knock the whole of Tokyo over.
Okay.
But I find that by controlling my breathing and just sort of putting myself in a mind space of just zen, and I just find that helps me feel it like a chillaxing game,
Okay.
if you like.
Yeah.
And couple that with the fact, and I've noticed this actually with a lot of the games I've put on my list, the aesthetics of that game are quite relaxing as well, because they're all very muted colours.
Yeah.
Obviously, being that it's a city building game, it's
very
greys.
grey, yeah.
But even the cars are like they're muted blues, yellows, greens. Whereas they could be bright, vibrant colours, they're not. They're those muted colours, and I just feel that aesthetic of the game helps to sort of give you that essence of relaxation, chill, before crushing everything to the floor and then getting really stressed. So I feel, providing you don't lose the game, i.e. knocking everything over, then it's quite a stressful experience.
Of course, yeah.
But
Like any other.
other than that, it's pretty relaxing. I really enjoy it, and I think it's quite a unique game to play. I think they've done a couple of versions of it now. I haven't played it for a
Okay,
very
I
long
didn't know
time, but it's definitely, it's always been in my head of like, oh, do you know what? I'd quite like that. And I never actually owned Tokyo Highway. I've only ever played it when I've been at board game cafes, which is weird. But yeah, if I ever came across a copy of Tokyo Highway that was of a reasonable price, I would probably buy it, if I'm
Okay.
honest. I really enjoy that game.
Nice. I didn't really you was a fan of it. So
There you go.
I knew of the game. I've never played it, so I would like to give it a go.
Yeah. And I'd say that my final comments with it is games like that, you sort of imagine they will be very fast paced, which would be the total opposite, right? It's because it's a slow paced game that I feel
Sure.
that it fits in the list.
Nice.
So yeah, there you go. Tokyo Highway is my number 5. So Anthony, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Diced Vegetables.
Okay, good game.
Remember that game?
I remember that game.
that game?
Very good game.
Anyone who doesn't know what diced vegetable is, you are basically trying to be the first person to cook 6 ingredients. How do you do that? You have a bunch of coloured dice, or obviously regular dice number 1 to 6, and you have your little chopper. And what you need to do is you need to cut dice no greater than the number of 10.
Yep.
So 3 threes and a 1, for example, and you can cut that, and they're all different colours, and each colour has to match an ingredient on your cards. You also have little hype cards that can do certain things, like, for example, if I just cook with just garlic on one recipe, I'll gain double points at the end of the game, etc. whatnot. So it's all about that cutting the dice part.
Yeah.
It's so comfortable and so satisfying. You're like, ooh, and it's just dice. All it is, it's just cutting dice. It's ridiculous, but it goes so well with the game, the theme of it, and it's the artwork is very around that sort of comfort era. They're very, the guys who make this are very synonymous with comfort games, and they've done a few. I can't remember the names of them for life of me, but if you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it just goes so well. I think this is my perfect one of comfort games ever. We love playing it. It's super easy to play, super fun to play, but you unless you've cut the dice with a cardboard cleaver, you don't know what you're talking about.
Again, it's total gimmick, isn't it? Like,
absolutely,
it's just some coloured dice that you could. Oh, I'll take that one, and that one.
You could just pick it out. Could just pick it out, but no.
Because you've got the cleaver, it's satisfying.
You've got to do it.
Satisfying.
Simply cut and move.
Yep. And I can totally understand where you're coming from on that. And I had forgotten about how relaxed. I remember the game.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I've forgotten the game, but I forgot how satisfying and I guess relaxing the game actually is.
It is actually.
But again, it's another one of those games that if things don't go your way, it could be quite stress-inducing because if you're not getting the cards that you need or the recipes that you need, along with a decent amount of dice every time, it could be quite stressful.
It could be quite stressful, but they do as a as on your turn, if you feel like you don't have enough dice, you can always restock the old dice.
Yes.
So at least it's not as stressful. You might have another opportunity. But again, it's how the dice go back on the table and how they straighten out as the shape you have to cut.
Yeah.
So it can be a bit of both, but at least they give you the option to try and lower the stress level on that one.
Yeah, no, that is a very good shout on that one. That's another game we need to play again.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Really
a
enjoy
quick
that game.
20-minute game, 25 minutes if that.
Yeah.
Fantastic game.
Excellent. So my number 4 is a game. Again, it's another game I haven't played for a while, and it's another game that I wouldn't often play. I've never owned it, if I remember correctly. I might have done at one point, but my number 4 is Stuffed Fables, which is
I've not played this, but I do know it.
yeah. So this is I guess you could say, a darker version of Toy Story.
Yes,
which is like a cooperative adventure game where players are playing as toys and they're progressing through a story-driven, I'll say campaign for lack of a better term, but it's an actual storybook, with maps and stuff, and you're playing with your miniatures. The miniatures are lovely, which is obviously something that really helps with the game. But it's a beautiful game, and it has a story to it. You are. Like I said, it's been a very long time, but if memory serves correctly, the child that you belong to has lost something, and you go on the hunt to try and find it. That's one of the missions, and you can go. Yeah, the game could be played quite relaxingly, but also from what I remember, there are some intense elements in it where there's battling involved as well. So this is probably going to be the only game on my list that actually encompasses combat. Because I generally find games that include combat are quite stress inducing. Sure. Whereas I don't find that with this one.
Okay.
And it is simple as, instead of getting damage, you lose fluff. I mean, it's that kind of thing. And it's just really, really cool. And the whole thing of moving through a storybook and continuing the campaign,
that's cool.
It's really, really cool. And it just invokes
feels like
that
sort of
of
Sunday afternoon sort of feel to it,
or your bedtime story type deal. That's what it sort of invokes in your mind. And another great thing about it is a family friendly game. You could play this with your family. The kids are going to enjoy it because it is basically Toy Story, slightly darker than Toy Story, I would say.
Okay.
And some of the miniatures are very clearly inspired by Toy Story.
Okay.
For example, the doll's head on the spider legs.
No way. Yeah.
That's definitely very much in this game. So again, this one is not as aesthetically pleasing as some of the others that are on my list. The artwork in it is incredibly good.
I was going to say, I remember
very,
the
very
artwork
good.
was good.
I haven't played the expansion for it because there was an expansion. I would like to play that at some point.
Do you own the game?
I don't actually own Stuffed Fables.
I was going to say, I never know if you did.
This was one that a couple of my friends owned, so I never felt the need to. And it was also available at the comic shop when that was that was a thing. That's obviously not around anymore. But a combination of the artwork that's in the game, the color palette that's chosen, because obviously it's designed that everything's meant to look like it's at night, so it's a much darker theme, but which kind of works, right? It kind of works. You get that lovely warm feeling of the nostalgic journey of invoking your sort of inner child as like, we've always wanted to be toys or whatever, and what's it like to be a toy, and what would you do as a toy? And there's nothing to stop you messing about should you want to. There's nothing to stop you taking it seriously if you want to. There's nothing to stop you just monging out and enjoying what you're playing.
Yeah.
And just having a good time. If you lose, you lose. It's a game after all. So the slower pace of a storybook, or what is available to be a slower pace, is what sort of makes me feel relaxed when I'm playing that game. I think if you were to rush that game, I think it would be a bit more stress inducing. But really, it is a glorified kids game for adults.
Okay.
So it's going to be fairly chill, And I think overall, Stuffed Fables is perfect for players. I'm reading my notes again, but overall, Stuffed Fables is perfect for players looking to escape into a cozy, heartfelt adventure, whether played solo, because you can play this solo, or with friends and family. It offers a relaxing, narrative-driven experience that feels like wrapping yourself in a warm, nostalgic hug.
There we go. What's more comfort than that?
And that's how nice I can be when I'm writing on my own.
There you go.
Shame I'm not like that in real
You should start
real
writing
life.
comfy novels.
I probably should. But yes, that's number 4 is Stuffed Fables.
Nice pick, sir.
Okay, so moving swiftly on to our number 3s.
My number 3 is Seven Wonders Architects.
Okie dokie, yes. Good shout.
We've mentioned this a bunch of times on the podcast. I won't go into it too much, but I think this is the be-all, end-all for getting people into Seven Wonders, or for that comfort side of Seven Wonders. The original can be quite stressful in a way, but this one I find is quite easy paced and quite easy to learn. And just, I know there's a rush to build your wonder in this,
Yeah.
but the simplicity of just picking a card here or there, anyone can come into it. The artwork is pretty eye-catching as well.
Yep.
If you ever pick up the expansion for it, which is Seven Wonders Architects Medals, that is a really, really good expansion for it, where you can actually get and earn medals if you do certain things, and if you build your wonder in a certain way, for example. What is there else to say? It is a cracking game for what it is. People could say it's kind of a party game, but I go with the more comfort side of it personally. Simple card game to build a wonder, or to gain victory points from getting cats, or just the blue cards themselves. I absolutely, every winter we play this and we get this out because it's a big hit in my house, and it will always go in that comfort list regardless.
Okay.
Easy to set up, easy to play, easy to pack away as well.
Nice. Now, I'm not sure I could have that on my comfort list, because I seem to... It's one of those games that everyone seems to pick on me.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's like that. I find that game quite stressful,
Do you?
but in a good way. Mainly because it's like, people are always deliberately targeting the cards that I want, to spite me.
Or does people just want to keep going to war with you, Jason?
That too. But yeah, I can definitely see how that would be a comfort game, to be fair. Because if people weren't picking on me and wanting to fight me constantly, it would be a bit more relaxing.
Even going to war in that game is comfy, because in the rules it says you have to go.
There is that.
You have to do the horn every time, and my kids love that. It's like they want to go to war just so they can make that stupid sound.
Yeah.
And I love how it intrigues them to do that.
You need to add in a house rule that they get an extra damage if you're the loudest.
The loudest one. That's actually pretty good. I might do that actually.
There you go. Add a bit more fun.
Yeah,
A bit more fun to it. But yeah, really, really good game.
But I get what you're saying.
I actually took it with me the other day to game
you?
night, because I really wanted to play it, but never got it to the table, unfortunately. But very, very good game.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying about the stressful side, because again, you are racing to build this, but you can't help it if you don't get the card you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the issue. So, but that's part of it, and that's part of the fun of it.
Well, you just, have nothing but warriors and just attack everyone.
And just attack everyone.
Especially if it's a 3-player game, because then you can really drag the game out.
Take them both out,
Take them both out.
Makes
It's
sense.
a very good way of doing it. But yeah, very good call.
And remember, what's your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is another one that is not in my collection and hasn't been in my collection.
Ooh.
And I haven't played this one for a good number of years. So I'm hoping my memory has served me good in remembering what the game is about and just remembering it as a relaxing game. Because I could be totally wrong. But my number 3 is Suburbia. Now, Suburbia is
I
a
don't know this one.
tile drafting city building game where players take turns selecting hexagonal tiles to expand their personal boroughs, managing residential, commercial, civic, and industrial areas to create a thriving metropolis.
Oh, okay.
Each of the tiles will interact in various different ways, very unique ways, which will affect your income, your population growth, and all that kind of stuff. The goal is to develop a well-balanced city that maximizes efficiency while keeping residents happy, earning points based on the long-term planning and strategic placement.
Okay.
So there you go. That is what the game is about. So why do I think that Suburbia is a great comfort and relaxation game? It's basically because it's satisfying city building mechanics. I really enjoy city building mechanics. It's why I really enjoyed Tower Up.
Yeah.
When we were playing it, and this is like a much more in-depth version of Tower Up. So
Okay.
really, Tower Up could have made this list in this one's place.
Sure.
Because that is again quite a nice thing. But yeah, like I said, one thing I really like about city building games is the satisfying nature of watching your city grow in a very unique way. You know, because there's lots of people building their cities, but every one of them looks different. And you know, if you sort of say, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and I want a housing development here, and I want an industrial section here, and I want a shopping district here," or you could go for utter carnage and go, "No, just mishmash of everything all together," and that's making my population really upset because I've put Jim Jones right next to a tire burning facility, and the shopping centre is right next to a graveyard, and it's just. There's multiple ways to play the game, but yeah, for me, I just get that really relaxing, satisfying feeling when I'm like, yeah, this is coming together just how I want it. And there's multiple games on my 10 list that sort of fit this bill. But Suburbia was the one that I remember is probably one of the first city building games I played.
Oh, okay.
And I remember it at the time.
So it's quite an old game then.
It's quite an old game.
I might know if I see it.
I think there's the latest version that comes in like a massive box.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just sort of again looking back at my notes, Suburbia also has a steady engaging pace and allows players to immerse themselves in their own city's development without feeling rushed. There's very, very little direct conflict in the game. As I said, I'm going on memory here. I don't believe there was much conflict at all in the game, which, of course, adds to that sort of peaceful, introspective experience with regards to it, rather than a competitive battling type game. Whereas something like Tower Up kind of still has that element of take that to it, because you could potentially block someone else off. Whereas in this game, it's all on your own. Overall, Suburbia is perfect for players who enjoy strategic but low stress games where they can focus on building something meaningful at their own pace. Its blend of depth, creativity, and rewarding gameplay makes it the ideal choice for a chilled out, satisfying board game session, is how I summed that one up.
Nice.
So
I kind of want to give it a go now.
Yeah, this is another game that I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? I wouldn't mind picking this up because I think that my current game groups would really enjoy this. And it may be an oldie, but it's definitely a good oldie. It's definitely a goodie. So yeah, Suburbia.
I want to play it.
What's your number 2, sir?
So back to what we said at the beginning of the episode, how one of my games has a rush mechanic to it, but it is still comforting at the same time.
Yep.
My number 2 is Coffee Rush.
Okay, nice.
So Coffee Rush, if no one knows what it is, you run a coffee shop, you will get orders of specific types of coffee. You have a board where you move a meeple to collect certain ingredients to make that coffee. On your turn, you can only move that meeple 3 spaces. Every space you go on, you collect a certain ingredient, whether it's hot water, milk, ice, coffee, chocolate, whatever your coffee, your drink requires. Once you complete an order, so say I complete 2 orders, the next player 2 players towards me will get an additional 2 orders that they have to deal with as well. And then after that, your orders move down 1 if you don't complete it. If it gets to past 4 spaces, you lose a penalty for not completing orders. The meat and bone of this game, the reason why it's a comfort game is its components.
Okay.
The components for this game is what makes this game. You have 3 little cups you can have in the game, but the pieces themselves, so when I collect milk, water, ice, chocolate, but it is there as a component.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can take these little components and put them in this tiny cup is just, the way you put it in, you're like, look, I've made, green tea or whatever it is, or I've made myself a mochaccino. Look, there's milk, there's chocolate, there's coffee. It's all there, and it's just such a nice little representation. And again, it's like that feel of Critter Kitchen when you've done an order, you can go like, orders up. I've made. Here's the coffee. Give me the points. And there's certain ones you get special abilities if you complete really hard, difficult coffees to make. It's quite rewarding. And your characters get other abilities like they can move diagonal on the board, etc., etc. It is a lot of fun. It is quite a bit hectic, but it still has that comfort element to it. There is an expansion out this year. I cannot wait, where they have an additional cake shop to your coffee shop. So you have to deal with cakes as well as coffees. I cannot wait. It's so good. It is. I highly recommend it. It was one of the ones that was sort of hyped last year. It sold out. I don't know if you can get hold of it now. You might be able to now, but it's one of those sleeper hits when if you didn't know about it, you should know about it, and you should at least give it a try. Coffee Rush. Highly recommend it. Even just to look at the components, buy it for that.
I would say if they're going to be releasing the expansion this year, you would have thought that a reprint is either already done or on the cards.
Or on the cards. Or just a box with the 2 of them would be great as well.
Yeah.
When we went to Essen last year, there was that counter that sold stickers for your meeples and stuff.
Yep.
And the one that I bought for Coffee Rush came with the expansion already stickers.
Oh, wow.
So they're ready for
nice.
when it comes out. So that was pretty lucky in the end of the day. So yeah.
Very, very nice. I can't remember if I've played this.
You played it once.
I think I've played
it once.
Yeah. I definitely recognised it. And I was like, this sounds like something I've played, but I think
I remember you played it and you said that Layla might like it.
Yes. Yes. So that is a game that I think we need to play again.
Sure,
very
totally.
much enjoy that game then. I remember enjoying it. I don't remember it being a particularly stress relieving time, but
as I say, it's this is where I sort of cheated on this one. It is a bit stressful, but I think putting the components in, it is a very comforting game when you do your orders. Yeah. You feel really like you've actually achieved it, and it's like nice. It's very good.
I'm waiting now because obviously with what you're saying about the expansion, like the cake shop, I'm now waiting to see. I'm going to see it at some point, a picture of Ant's Tea Room. Like it'd be like a little mini business shop
just
that
holding those little components,
and it'll have like little bits of cake. Like it'll stand there.
I can't. It's stupid. I mean, I don't care about coffee or cakes, but I just want it.
Thematic immersion. The next time you play this with that expansion, you need to sit there with a little pinny on.
I do. You know what? If I ever host it a night with that, I am doing the whole shebang, mate. Yeah. I'm going to be making coffee for everyone. I'm going to be like barista t-shirt, everything. I'm going all out, mate. That's how much I like Coffee Rush.
Excellent. Very, very good. I would like to play that again. So my number 2, this is probably the one that I thought might clash with you. So it still has the potential to, because you've got another one to go. But if it is, you can talk about it when it gets to it.
You're good.
But my number 2 is very similar to my number 1, but I had to put it at number 2. Despite wanting to put it at number 1, I'll explain why when I talk about number 1. But my number 2 is Harmonies.
Nice.
So Harmonies was a huge hit last year.
It was last year.
God, has it really been that
long?
Nearly
a year now.
Yeah, nearly a year. So Harmonies is a tile laying, pattern building game where players create stunning landscapes by placing hexagonal tiles. Featuring different biomes and stuff. I mean, they're not all. Are they all hexagonal? Can't actually remember. Or is there some circular? I can't remember if they're circular.
Yeah. Oh, they're all circular.
They're all circular. Circular. I don't know why I was thinking it was hexagonal, but it's not. Circular. So yeah, they represent the different biomes, rivers, mountains and meadows and stuff like that. So of a nature feel, you know, so nature, all that. It's usually quite relaxing.
Yeah.
People go for walks. So yeah, as you're building your landscapes and you're sort of placing the animal tokens, it's just quite satisfying and relaxing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's something that I would say I enjoy is creating patterns, right? And I find creating patterns quite relaxing. So this one scratches that itch, right? And
Or creating patterns as well as your animal patterns in one go. It's like, oh,
exactly. And it's
so
just
good.
sort of like, oh, you've got an amazing pattern. I've achieved something, and it's just, it's like job satisfaction, but without the job. You know, it's just satisfaction. It's great. But yeah, it's really good because if you really are, say you've had a long day at work and you're knackered and you just can't concentrate on a game, you're at no disadvantage in this game because you can just bumble through harmonies while someone else is, oh yeah, he's achieved that, he's achieved that, he's achieved that, he's achieved that, and you're sitting there bumbling through, and all right, you might not win the game, but you're not going to
realize you've actually scored points.
Exactly, and you might, you won't get destroyed in the
not at
game,
all.
and you never know what animal cards are going to come out. You might just be bumbling through, and then the perfect animal card will come out and be like, well, okay, on my next turn, I can complete, 3 of the 4 of those.
I think that's another comfort element to this game. There isn't any punishment for anything in this game.
No.
I mean, if you muck up a certain thing, fine, you might not score something, but you might score something later for it and not realize it.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about that game.
Yeah, the minor punishment that you could say is in the game is if you don't achieve something, you're taking up a slot for an animal card.
Yes, yeah.
But as long as you've not got 4 animal cards, it's not a punishment.
Not punishment.
So yeah, I just think that for me, Harmonies overall is an excellent choice for those looking to unwind because it embraces creativity and you can enjoy the game as it's very engaging, it's visually appealing, and it just presents a nice puzzle to help your mind unwind. It's not like a Sudoku where you're puzzling it out, but
you're
it's
not rushing it either.
It's keeping you going. It's keeping your brain active. This one is engaging and in a totally different way, in a more relaxing way. This one I put closer to, I don't know, doing a drawing.
Yeah.
At home, just picking up a pencil and sketching something out just to sort of wind your mind down. Which is why I've always said this game is one of those perfect ones to finish a game night off. You've done the big, heavy board game of the night, so I'm not quite ready to go to bed yet, but I'm also not ready for another brain burner. Harmonies is there. Boom. So yeah, Harmonies is my number 2.
Only one stressful part of that game is when James takes my pieces before me.
Yeah. A little bit of player interaction in this one. So yeah,
there is some stress in this game.
There is a little element to it, but what game is without its stress?
Exactly,
let's be honest.
right? Come
but
on.
yes, there you go. My number 2, Harmonies.
Very good pick, sir.
So the big one, Ant. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready, but I don't think everyone else will be.
Okay.
I don't think everyone's going to agree with my number 1.
Oh, I'm
something
intrigued.
about it I just think is great.
Okay, fair enough. So, would you impart upon us your wisdom?
My number 1 is the board game classic, The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Okay. I'm intrigued because there is an element of relaxation to this.
There is, but there's
I'm
also a
intrigued
bit
to see
of
if it's
stress
the
in it as
same.
well.
Yeah.
But first off, I think the artwork is a big factor in this for me. I love the whole medieval side to it, and then the whole alchemy side to it as well. The potions, the witches. I've got, so basically I have the big box version which has all the expansions in it and the extra players counts you can have in this as well. We always play this in big groups.
Yeah.
And this is one where we went to Expo last year. I bought the upgraded pieces for the spells or the potions you put in the pouches.
Yeah.
So I believe they're all cardboard in the box, but we upgraded it to the plastic ones instead. There's something about buying potions, adding them to your bag, and then just making your cauldron get bigger and bigger and bigger. I love the whole element. Ooh, and cherry bomb. Oh, great. But there's something about it, and watching everyone reaching into the bags and, you know, just enjoying themselves with this game. Even when you're like coming to dead last, this game lets you try and get back. Do you remember the rat's tail side to it? And how that brings them back into play. So even if you feel like you're falling behind, you can still catch up. It's always a very fair game. The event cards that come up where rubies are a factor in the game as well. I just love everything that goes towards it. Its components are the big part of it. The spells are can be different every time you play as well. I just absolutely love this game. It was when I first saw it, I just did not think I would ever get into it. It's never my thing. It's never my forte. But then when I believe Wayne introduced this to me. No, it wasn't. It was Chris. And we played this around Chris's house. I was like well into this.
Nice.
And I just thought this would be an ultimate comfort game. We play this every winter, this game, regardless. Or we have big groups that come over and play it. They absolutely love this. And I was going to pick something else, but I think this one is more the comfort side for me.
Okay.
So that's why I put it on there. I do love this game.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to actually agree with you. I'm not quite as experienced with Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Okay.
I have played it.
Yeah.
But it's not a game I've played loads of. However, I do find a bag building game quite relaxing.
Yes.
You know, I think the most recent one I played of bag building would have been the Alice in Wonderland.
Wonderland Wars.
Wonderland Wars.
I've not played that, but
again, very, very good game. Very, very similar concepts as Quacks. Quacks. The only issue I've ever had with Quacks is the name. It's just such a stupid name.
I'm trying to write it down for my listener. Quit lip.
Can you imagine trying to do a Google search for it? It keeps changing it. Absolute nightmare. Terrible name, but
I just love at the
looking
end
past the stress that the name causes.
Yes, I mean, I just love the end of every round when you have to actually go shopping and use up your points to buy all that, and you just add into the bag, and each token can do something to help you build up your cauldron. It's genius. It's such a great idea, and like you said, the whole bag building part is the meat and bone of this game.
Yeah, and it presents a satisfying nature as well. Like you said, when you just pull out the right ones, right times.
It's like, do I take the chance? Do I go in for another, see if I get another cherry bomb?
Yeah.
The whole luck draw thing is fantastic.
Yeah.
Such a good comfort wintry game for me.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. So my
big one, Sarah. Come on, what is
my number one is, as I said, very, very similar to my number two, and they jostled for the first place for quite some time. But I'm going to be very specific with this one, because there are multiple versions of this game, and there are multiple reasons that I find this to be the most relaxing game ever, despite the fact that I find a lot of people find it incredibly stress-inducing.
Ooh.
So,
it's not what I thought it was going to be, I'll be honest.
My number one is the original Azul. So,
the original OG.
The original OG.
Wow.
Azul. So, I would say that in a way, Summer Pavilion is probably more...
Never played that one.
Relaxing. However, the original one holds a special place in my heart for a relaxing game, because... For those of you that don't know Azul, first of all, what rock have you been living under? Mm-hmm. But Azul is a tile drafting board game where players turn, they take colourful ceramic tiles and create the little mosaic floor pieces that are going into some mansion somewhere. Mm-hmm. There's a very loose theme, but the game is stunning, right? It's one of the best looking games I think in the world. The quality of the production was great. The colours used on the boards was great. The tiles were great. They had a really satisfying feel.
I just feel like I want to eat those tiles.
Exactly.
They look like a Jolly Rancher, if you will.
And you've got you've got the bag element. Instead of a bag building element, you're putting your hands in a bag to draw them out, and you can hear the clinking about.
They're the stations, is it they're called?
I think they are.
Something
like that. And then they're all that. And then you move on to the actual game itself. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm taking these colors, I'm putting them on my board, and then I filled that one up, so now I can add it to my board, and I'm creating this amazing pattern, and just building patterns is relaxing.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I've already said that throughout this list, and Azul embodies all of those, and for me was probably one of the first to achieve that level. And yeah, Azul can be a stressful game if people keep pipping you at the post for getting those tiles that you want, but then you could be that person that's taking someone else's, and how satisfying it is to see their salty tears.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And also when you get the vertical and
Exactly.
horizontal score
so
as well.
Achieve the extra bonus objectives at the end, and like I said, all of the other versions of us all have had their pros and what have you. But I find that in all of the other versions, I take them a lot more seriously.
Sure.
Whereas the originals, I know that if I'm tired, if I just can't concentrate, boom, I know I can play Azul. And again, how hard is it to understand? It's like, well, this is how many of that color I need. I filled it. I'm going to score it. You know, yes, I can try and maximize. You know, I can be a bit more tactful. I want to try and create a vertical line because I'm get more points every time I place one. But it doesn't really matter if I don't. I can just not pay any attention. I'm not going to be that far behind on the points. And you never know, you might stumble into a few extra points along the line. So, yeah, I think Azul, again, a lot of this comes down to its visual appeal. The patterns is satisfying.
The colors
are satisfying. The component quality feels great. You know, I stand by it now. I think the original was always the best produced Azul that they've ever done.
The sound that is in the bag with the tiles rumbling around is it's just such a good sound. It is.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful game. So I think I did a summary here. Overall, Azul strikes a perfect balance between thoughtfulness and tranquility, making it an excellent choice for unwinding at the end of the day, enjoying a peaceful afternoon, or enjoying a calm yet engaging game with friends and family.
100%.
Yeah, you can play this game without being rushed. You can just chill out. You can have a chat while playing the game.
Yeah.
It's another one of those games that I think is best amongst good friends. You know, not as much with people you don't know. That would be less relaxing. But I think, providing you're playing with people you know, it's a very, very relaxing game. Azul.
It's a very good pick.
Azul OG.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but hey.
Okay. Well, I'm interested. Now that we finished the list, we got the honourable mentions. I'm now intrigued to know, what did you think my number one was going to be?
I thought it was going to be a game that involved dragons.
Okay. Pray tell.
Flamecraft.
Okay. Flamecraft didn't even make the top 10.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reason is that I get quite competitive with that game.
Fair enough.
I did consider it.
Yeah.
I did consider it. But yeah, I found any game that I get quite competitive with, it's not going to make me relax. So, despite the fact that, destroying my opponents makes me feel good, it doesn't make me relax.
That's where the kingmaker comes in.
And then you've kind of got that whole feeling of when a game night is over, if I've been playing any of these games, any of the games in my top 5, I know that I can go straight to bed and fall asleep. Most other games, even if I've won, I've got a satisfying feeling in my mind, I've still got that adrenaline.
Yeah.
So I can't sleep. So therefore, I would immediately class them as not a relaxing game.
Makes sense, yeah.
But they do fit the bill of like a comfort game as well. I really enjoy playing it. But so I'll go through a couple of my honourable mentions, then we'll cover yours, and then I'll finish up with mine. So Calico is one that I find quite a relaxing game. Haven't played it. I've only ever played it once, but I have the digital version of it, which I will play. These two kind of combine Wingspan and Earth.
Wingspan, I can tell.
Yeah.
I haven't played Earth in ages, so I can't remember if it's a common game or not.
The only reason is because again, it provides me with that satisfying feeling of creating my engine, much the same as Wingspan.
Sure.
But I didn't think that they were, comforting enough to make the top 5.
Okay.
Whereas a top 10 list, I think they would have gone in there. And then my other 2 would have been Cascadia. And,
Yes. How did I forget that?
Yeah. And Acropolis. So this is the
Oh,
one. This was the one that I was like, yep, this could easily.
Again, I've only ever played that once, so I didn't
Yeah,
think
that was the one that I put as interchangeable with Suburbia because obviously it's got that same sort of feeling to it. So yeah, they're my honourable mentions. What about yourself, sir?
I only had the one that was going to be on the list, but it came out because I only played it once. I don't remember very well. But it's Creature Comforts.
Oh yes.
Same guys who did Dice Veggies.
Yep.
It is a game about creating comforts. So what's more comforting than that? It's about, if anyone doesn't know what it is, it's about you play a group of animals that are going to be hibernating for the winter. So before you do that, you go around the boards, very much like a worker placement, trying to earn materials to build comforts for the winter. It could be clothes, could be toys, could be board games, could be food even.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous game. I wish I owned this game, or at least the Kickstarter version anyway, because it just screams comfort. I believe if I'd have played it more, it would have been number 1. I think it's like one of the ultimate comfort games ever. And it's part of a trilogy. I think Maple's another one. And then the third one is out this year. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but it's come to Kickstarter this year as well. So yeah, Creature Comforts was my honourable mention, and I wish it was in the top 5, but didn't make it.
Nice. So there's a decent amount of games there that we've talked
Absolutely.
about. No collisions whatsoever, and I was almost certain that you weren't going to clash with me on any of mine. So.
Do you know what? I picked Harmonies, but then do you know what? I hadn't played Harmonies for a while. Again, it's one I've completely forgot playing for a while. It's just sat there aside.
Yeah,
and I didn't even think of it at the time. So,
but yeah, I think the whole subject matter of comfort games and relaxing games is again very subjective. It really depends on what you find relaxing about games. You know, you might be some weirdo that loves conflict and finds that incredibly relaxing. I mean, I would say that's quite crazy, but
no,
it's not me.
It's always a good pick, mate, because when we got back to playing Azul Duel, it made me bring back some love that I had for Azul.
Yeah.
Again, it's one that I played ages ago, and I used to even have it, but my daughter got a hold of the tiles and just loved the whole sound of it, and they're spread about the garden somewhere, and they're all hiding somewhere. So unfortunately, my copy is no longer with me.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm thinking another top 5 list: games lost to the garden.
Oh, 100%. There's like a top. I have 20 of those, so no doubt about it.
I wouldn't be very good at that list. So that's an ants games lost to the garden.
That'd just be an episode just for me.
We might have to make that happen because I could do with a good laugh. So.
But very good picks for you as well, sir. There's a couple that I really want to try as well. Like Suburbia definitely, and Stuffed Fables. I knew of Stuffed Fables for ages, but I've just never found anyone that actually has a copy of it.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure I have access to a copy. I'll try and procure one, and we'll give it a play.
Make it happen.
But yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we sod off ski?
No, obviously. Do the usual. Please comment below and let us know your comfort games. Give us some recommendations as well. I mean, I'd be up for going through those and try.
Yeah, I would. I'd like to see actually what other people find comforting.
Absolutely, yeah.
About games. I'm waiting for the first smart arse though. There's going to go any Vital Lacerda game.
Here we go.
You know, that's over 4.5 on BGG's complexity rating.
Yeah.
I've just insulted a load of people.
You've got to do it now.
I promise I won't come at you if you do. But yeah, it's not relaxing. Anything over sort of, I would struggle to find anything over midweight to be deemed as relaxing.
Yeah.
But again, if
but that might be your thing.
That's your thing.
Again, like I said, comment below, let us know.
Yeah, everyone is different, and that's the beauty of this hobby.
Absolutely.
So yeah. As covered it, comment below, let us know your thoughts and opinions on this subject matter. Obviously, if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for watching us, and if you're still watching, you're a legend. Hit the subscribe button, share it, all of that jazz, give it a like. If you're still listening on audio, you are also a legend. If you're listening on Spotify, you can comment on there as well. But yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching us here. And until next time, I have been Jason.
And I'd be Ant.
And you have been watching or listening to the Meeple Minded Podcast. Join us next time for more tabletop gaming goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.